Mainstream Isekai gets all the hype, but today we're hunting hidden monsters that deserved way louder applause. These 6 underrated gems bring wild concepts, sharp vibes, and emotional punches. If your watch list feels stale, congratulations, you're about to fix that permanently. We begin with number 6. Number 6, The Executioner and Her Way of Life. You think this is just another summon the teen from Japan power fantasy? Yeah, that's the lie. This show opens like a familiar isekai setup, then pulls the rug so hard you feel it in your spine. I'm going to be honest with you. The first major reversal is one of the coldest tone setters I've seen in modern fantasy anime, because it immediately tells you this world has consequences, not cheat codes. The vibe is elegant but dangerous. City streets glow with this calm, almost sacred architecture. Then a scene suddenly turns tense with tight framing, quiet footsteps, and expressions that feel like concealed weapons. Minu and Akari's dynamic is the heartbeat. Soft conversation on the surface, emotional landmines underneath. Every polite smile feels loaded. Every moment of trust feels temporary. Don't watch this half asleep because the subtext is doing aura farming in nearly every exchange. The sound design is underrated too. It leans into hush, echo, and fragile silence before impact, instead of blasting nonstop action cues. When fights do pop, the choreography is crisp and purposeful, like ritualized violence. Magic systems have texture here, with rules and implications that actually matter to character choices. If you've ever wanted isekai with moral tension, layered manipulation, and an oh-no feeling that keeps growing, this is your jam. If slow burn tension is your thing, this will absolutely ruin you. Moving on to number 5. Number 5, Uncle from Another World. What if your legendary isekai hero came back home and had absolutely zero riz, zero social calibration, and maximum chaos energy? Buckle up. This one is criminally underrated because it weaponizes contrast. God-tier fantasy feats on one side, painfully awkward modern-day interactions on the other. The joke structure is brilliant, but what sells it is how sincere it can get when you least expect it. Uncle's storytelling flashbacks feel like opening a cursed scrapbook. You get gritty dungeon memories, humiliating misunderstandings, old-school RPG vibes, and then smash cut to him casually flexing busted magic in a tiny apartment. The visual comedy is absolute fire. Exaggerated reaction faces, deliberate pauses, and timing that lands like a sniper shot. The show also roasts gamer nostalgia, console wars, and genre tropes without feeling mean-spirited. It's affectionate chaos. I'm going to be honest with you. The voice performances carry heavy weight here. Uncle sounds like a man permanently stuck between tragic hero and neighborhood weirdo, which somehow makes him lovable. Takafumi and Fujimiya ground the madness with deadpan energy and little emotional beats that remind you these people actually care about each other. Even the romantic misunderstandings from the other world hit different because they're hilarious and kind of sad at the same time. Also, the music choices know exactly when to go playful versus strangely dramatic, and that contrast boosts every punchline. If you like meta humor, anti-glamour fantasy, and characters who fail upward through pure delusion, do not skip this sleeper hit. If you want laughs with hidden emotional bruises, this one delivers. Now looking at number 4. Number 4, Skeleton Knight in Another World. A Skeleton Knight sounds like pure edge. Right? Wrong. In the best way. This series pulls a slick premise twist combo. Yes, Ark looks like a final boss, but his personality is basically an overpowered golden retriever with a justice complex. That mismatch gives the whole show a fun identity. It's not trying to be fake dark for clout. It balances brutality, charm, and fantasy adventure energy like a pro. The viewing experience is all about momentum. You get road travel pacing, varied locations, and encounters that move from goofy to intense without feeling random. Ark's fight scenes are satisfying because the animation emphasizes weight and scale. Sword swings feel heavy, spell effects feel chunky, and the camera often frames him like a myth walking into frame. There's real aura farming whenever he enters a conflict, and everyone realizes, very late, they picked the wrong day. I'm going to be honest with you, the emotional core sneaks up through side characters. Ariane and the elf storyline add genuine tension and stakes beyond look how OP he is. You start caring about communities, not just battles. The art direction sells a classic fantasy palette, green forests, stone towns, campfire nights, while the soundtrack leans heroic with occasional warmth, like a party quest that still has heart. And yeah, there are tonal bumps here and there, but the show's sincerity carries it. Arc wants to do good in a world that makes that complicated, and that's always compelling. If you want comfort food fantasy with strong action and a lovable powerhouse lead, this is absolute fire. If classic quest vibes with modern pacing are your thing, lock in. Next up, number 3. Number 3, Trapped in a Dating Sim. The world of otome games is tough for mobs. You ever wanted an isekai protagonist who wakes up in a gorgeous aristocratic romance game and immediately chooses violence, sarcasm, and strategic disrespect? Welcome home. This anime is a sleeper hit because it understands exactly how ridiculous its setting is, then uses that absurdity to build one of the funniest power climb stories in the genre. Premise is simple: background mob character in an otome world. Twist? He refuses to stay background. Leon's entire presence is chaotic anti-hero energy. Petty, calculating, brutally honest, and weirdly principled when it counts. I'm going to be honest with you, half the joy is watching him dismantle elite nonsense with deadpan confidence. His dialogue has bite, and the social confrontations hit like boss battles. The direction leans hard into contrast. Fancy academy halls, polished tea party etiquette, and then emotional combat, where every line is a blade. Mecha action drops in like a surprise uppercut, and somehow works. The show's pacing keeps you bouncing between political pettiness, romantic tension, and explosive payback moments. Luxian, his AI partner, adds this dry, slightly menacing wit that turns planning scenes into pure entertainment. Sound-wise, the show knows when to go smug, when to go triumphant, and when to let awkward silence cook. Character dynamics are surprisingly layered too, especially with Olivia and Angelica, because beneath the comedy, everyone's trapped by expectations. That gives the show unexpected emotional weight. If you've ever felt like the system was rigged and wanted to watch someone break it with style, this will hit. If you love underdog revenge with maximum sarcasm, do not skip this. Now, stepping into number 2. Number 2, Black Summoner. You think memory loss means weak setup? Not here. Black Summoner starts with a hero who traded memories for raw power, and that alone tells you the tone. This man is built different. The twist is that Kelvin is not chasing peace, he's chasing thrill. He's basically a battle addict in a fantasy world, and that energy makes the show feel alive even in quieter episodes. The action choreography is the headline. Fights are clean, readable, and aggressive, with impact frames that make heavy blows feel earned. Summoning mechanics are actually fun to watch because each ally brings a distinct rhythm to combat. This isn't random particle spam. You can track tactical decisions in real time, and that makes each encounter more satisfying. When Kelvin locks in, the momentum spikes instantly. I'm going to be honest with you, the party dynamic is another reason this works. There's camaraderie, banter, loyalty, and occasional chaos that keeps the tone from becoming one-note edgelord stuff. The world building keeps moving too. Guild politics, dungeon progression, reputation growth. So you feel the adventure expanding episode by episode. It has that quest log leveling up pleasure without turning into a spreadsheet. The OST pushes adrenaline during battles and shifts to lighter motifs for group moments, which keeps the binge smooth. Visually, character designs are memorable, spell effects are flashy without being messy, and scene transitions keep pacing snappy. If you want pure hype, clean power fantasy, and a protagonist who smiles before difficult fights, this is your pick. If your ideal watch is non-stop escalation with style, jump in immediately. Finally, number 1. Number 1, Parallel World Pharmacy. A pharmacist as an isekai lead sounds calm, maybe even boring, until you realize this show turns medicine into high-stakes heroism. Premise: genius medical mind reborn in a fantasy world. Twist: instead of chasing thrones, he fights misinformation, class inequality, and deadly disease with science. That's insanely refreshing, and yes, it's god tier in its own lane. The atmosphere is unique. Bright palace interiors, dusty streets, clinic spaces that feel sterile and urgent, and crowd scenes that capture panic without melodrama. Pharma's presence is gentle but intense. He's not loud, not edgy, not trying to look cool. He just carries this focused compassion that makes every diagnosis scene feel meaningful. I'm going to be honest with you, that emotional sincerity hits harder than most sword fights. What really makes this criminally underrated is how it dramatizes process. Research, formulation, dosage, sanitation, These become narrative tension, not boring exposition. You watch him challenge tradition, face institutional pride, and protect people who would have been ignored. Character dynamics with family, nobles, and patience add layered conflict between ethics, authority, and fear. When the show tackles outbreaks and public response, it gets uncomfortably real in the best way. The soundtrack supports that balance. Warm piano for humane moments, uneasy textures when crisis spreads, and subtle crescendos when breakthroughs happen. Animation favors clarity and emotion over spectacle, which fits perfectly. If you want an isekai that feels purposeful, compassionate, and surprisingly intense, do not sleep on this. If you're tired of copy-paste fantasy and want something genuinely distinct, start here tonight. All right, that's my underrated isekai hit list. Which one are you starting tonight, and which sleeper did I miss? Drop your ranking, argue your hottest take, and let's build the ultimate hidden gem watch list together.